good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming this morning. We are fortunate today to have Jane Lee as our guest. Jane Lee, I was talking to her already this morning about, I don't want to say that you've been in business a long time, but you have been in business a long time. So as we were talking about markets, a team and realtors who have survived very different, very, sometimes very challenging markets to survive that. It's our pleasure today to learn more about her. I'd like to read two testimonials that I pulled about Jane and her team because I think it's interesting. You know, I can sing praises, but I think to hear what people really have said about your team is really important. And this is the first one. The Jane Lee team actually does a team approach, and every team member, Jane, Chantel, Courtney, the stager, the photographer, the runners, and all of your office staff, everyone we contacted was just excellent. Thanks to the whole Jane Lee team, Jane, you have operationalized, I like that word, operationalized the sales process with great success. At each point, I felt I was in knowledgeable hands. You removed my prior selling experience stresses from the equation. I went straight to Jane when the friend of the family didn't work out so well. We had an offer within 2 weeks. And then the second one, I told Jane Lee that her best advertising is her own operational process. I've seen Jane Lee signs around since 1994, which in my mind seems like yesterday, but is really not.
Yes,
Right.
30 years ago.
Really amazing. Mm-hmm. And just by driving around over the years, you can plainly deduce that Jane Lee can move houses. I thought those were lovely testimonials from her clients. So Jane, what I'm going to do is ask you first, my first question to you is, describe what you do in your job, and then talk a little bit about your team and sort of how your team, I'm going to assume you didn't start 30 years ago with a big, large team. How has your team morphed over time?
Yes. So my main job actually is strategy for my company.
Okay.
And then strategy for my client. When they hire me to sell their home, to buy the home, nearly we're going to meeting with them to tell them what current market will do for their home, how much going to sell for, and of course what buyer expectation if when they decide to buy a home in every different market. The market change, you're going to change what you do. So this is my biggest job is strategy, besides working with customer, working with the team.
Okay. When you started, what was the market like? Let's go back a little bit in time. What was the market like when you started?
1994 market is very depressed, right? I mean the interest rate is super high. Home there is no selling. It's every homeowner market of 6 to 1 years, just like back into 2008, again, the market shift, right? So 1994 market is pretty bad, but I always create a market. You know, it's any given time, always people out there looking to buy, to sell. And you just not controlled by the people tell you what's going on out there. You create your own thing.
Do you remember your first transaction?
Yes.
Tell me about your first transaction.
Right. The first transaction, in fact, back into 1994, I was the assistant. I have a full-time job. I'm in computer. So I'm doing computer at part-time to real estate. So I did a first open house. Actually, the lady, her name called Cindy Hainai, who invented woman in part-time, which I bought my first house in part-time too. So she's very successful in the area. She pretty much dominated the market in part-time in the Lincoln, Inverness area. So I started working with her. I said, can I be your assistant? She said, okay, you can do open house. I said, great. So my first job is open house for her. Then she assigned me to go to one open house in part-time, was townhome. It's vacant, was market bad, as you know, a lot of home vacant home there. So it's very cold. So the first time I'm even afraid to put the heat on for the house. I said, oh my God, I'm sitting there for 3 hours, so cold. Let's put the match in, turn on the fireplace. Guess what? I put the fire in, the fire boom, come out. I burned my eyebrows, my hair. That's my first experience in real estate. But I do get the house sold.
You did get it
and
sold.
I stayed home for like 2 months to get rid of my burnt hair, stinky smell.
It's interesting to hear you say that you had a full-time job.
Absolutely.
So many of the people that are starting these days are starting exactly that, from having a full-time job.
Correct.
And starting as part-time. So that will give them comfort that it's possible to do that.
Right.
So you started by yourself as an assistant. What was the first leap you made from there?
At that time, I'm Chinese. Speak Chinese.
Okay.
Not even speak very good English. So I go to all the Chinese function to pick up all the Chinese buyers. It's very, very exhausting. in the party all the time, go out, meet all the function, just pick up people who interesting to buy to sell, right?
Okay.
And that started. And then 2 months later, I'm selling 3 homes per month in my office in bedroom in part-time. They was talking about if you sell 3 homes, you're a top agent. The broker will take you for lunch. Today, no big deal, but that time it's a big deal for me. Say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do 3 homes. So 6 months later, I reached my goal already, able to sell 3 homes a month. And I told my husband, I said, I'm gonna quit my job. I'll go to sell real estate. He said, are you sure? You have a full-time job? I said, no, I'm not gonna take it. I said, I guarantee you, I'm gonna make $250,000 3 years later. If I don't, and I go back to computer.
Okay.
So
It seems to be a theme that I hear again. At some point, someone says, I give up. I give up the past, and I'm going to move and think toward the future and believe that. So I like that. So all right. So then you were a single practitioner. You worked for yourself for a while.
Right, very hard.
What happened? Very hard.
Yes.
Very hard. So who was the first person that you asked to help you?
So actually, it's all my customer. In fact, they buy selling home with me. They become like me, and some housewife. They're very talented people and have a very big education. They stay home raising their kids. I say, would you help me to do marketing? Would you help me to do transactions? I have one called listing manager, one transaction manager, pretty much help me out. That started 2 people, and. Then the biggest turning point was the I don't have a buyer agent. I strict everything, ordered sell, meeting customer all by me. Don't have a buyer agent, but I have 2 people in the office doing listing manager for
Right.
me. Another one transaction closing manager for me. By the time business grow and grow pretty big, very well. And one of my office manager, her name called Isabel. I don't know if you guys know Isabel. She actually is the office manager. She made my business grow. She approached me, said, Jane, how about I partner with you, working for you, and I manage everything for you. You know what I mean? I said, great. So at that time, my broker was Piero. I went to Piero. I said, Piero, can I do that? He said, yeah. I don't want losing you, Jane. You're a big agent. I don't want losing you. Take Isabel. So I took Isabel, and only like 2 weeks later, whole office go upset because I took Isabel.
Oh.
You know how they go, right?
Yes.
All the politician, all the office. So the Piero said, Jane, either you let Isabel go, I let you go. So I'm the one person do business by the what, if you're shaking hand, means you agree upon.
Yes.
I don't change my mind, and I fulfill my a promise for anybody who come to me. So when he told me, I said, I'm leaving right away. I don't even bring
Okay.
to second negotiate again. You cannot do that to the people. I said, I'm leaving. I packed myself out.
Okay.
So that time I knew I needed to create my own broker firm because I don't want another person to come in here to tell me all the nonsense stuff.
Yeah, all that nonsense stuff. I like that. Yeah.
Does that make sense to you? So I actually, I say, then I go to get broker license and I call REMAX. I say, either I'm leaving REMAX or you gotta sell the franchise to me. That's 2 options. REMAX said, Jane, we don't want to listen to me. So I temporarily part my business with one of the REMAX office in Gray State, which I hate the address, and I moved to Deer Park. So moving around that years is like chaos, you know what I mean? But I determined to get my broker license. So first time I just go to take a test. Actually, I fail. I don't know what I do. I'm gonna take. I say, oh my god. So then I said, okay, I have to get my broker license. So I went, took 2 weeks off, and I go to library. Nearly study for 2 weeks. Next time I pass.
Congratulations. That's not unusual. I have a friend who was raised in I always think about this because the pass rate is very poor right now for people taking their tests. I have a friend who was raised in a real estate family. I'm sure when she was 6 years old, she was sticking signs in the front yard for her dad, your kind of thing. She had to do it 6 times to actually pass the test. And right now she's one of the top producers down in Orlando. So that testing is kind of a crazy way to get into the business.
It
so
is.
Congratulations for doing that.
Thank you.
Okay. On a day-to-day basis, what do you do every day?
I know all my team people know I have a very good routine, right? So super good routine. I get up at 4:30 every morning. And between 4:30 to 5:30, I do meditation myself. I do all kind of exercise, jumping around to get my body
Okay.
release all the tightness ready. So at the same time, I either listen very relaxed music or listen to very powerful motivation stuff, right?
Okay.
So that's my 1 hour. Now after 1 hour, I took my dog around. Everybody living in my neighborhood, you know that. Between 6:30 to 7:30, I'm out really running with my dog for an hour.
Okay.
So pretty much get me about 7,500 steps every morning. And I did not do anything. I just deep breathe, listen to audio book about anything about real estate. You know what I mean? What's going on in the world, how to create more business, how to expand your business, whatever related to real estate. I bought a lot of books, which I share to my team people too. I normally bought a bunch of books, gave to them. So by 7:30, I'm already done with all the running, and then I go home, of course, clean up myself, get ready to go to working. And I don't coming home pretty much 6, 7, 8, 9. Like last night, coming home 10 p.m. No, it's not. I do have an appointment, but I go to party, by the way.
So you're still finding that doing a lot of social networking is working for you?
Absolutely. My biggest one, I took a lot of my customers for dinner, all the time. Yeah, like tonight, we met dinner with 6 people tonight.
Okay, so you're doing a lot of social networking. If you like books, tell me what's your favorite real estate book? Or one that you've read recently that you really liked?
Oh, I really like Exactly What to Say. Another one say how to generate a real estate lead menu.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
One of the questions I would like to ask is, are you working in one market or are you working all over the place?
I work in multi-marketed, yes. I don't stay one market.
Why?
Why? I think first of all, people moving around, right? People moving around, different city, different school district, right? Number two, real estate is very interesting, right? Sometimes this market doing well, another market going to shut down, you know what I mean? Or this school district doing well, another school not doing good, market-wise, right? So in order to keep my number, my goal, I have to do multi-marketed. I feel like it's good for me.
Do you do your homework and know which markets? One of the things I've noticed is some of the top producers, they watch their markets very carefully. So they know exactly what you're talking about. This one is going to be slower, so I need to move my stuff over here, my marketing and stuff over here. Do you track your markets that way?
Absolutely. I watch my market every day, in fact. Which listing coming up, who lists the home, everything.
Okay.
The first thing go out, I check everything.
Okay.
Sure.
Talk to me a little bit about with your team. How does that work? So you are do most of the listing work, I would guess.
Not really. In fact, our team right now doing well right now. Between our whole team right now, between under contract, private listing, and active listing, we have 104 right now, right? 104 listing right now in whole team. But over 50% is our team member who list the home. So they are very strong listing right now. When I create this team, I have everybody under my name, all the listing under my name, and I got all the phone call, people checking on me. I even did not know the house because I'm not going out to CMA. So now everybody own their own.
Okay.
Agent, they own their listing, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you talked about a process. So if you were going to list my house, what's your process with that? You are the team. What do you do for me?
When can I meet you?
Good question. I like that. I'm in Crystal Lake. I don't know if you'll come quite as far as Crystal Lake.
No problem. My car pretty good car. I can drive any place.
I love that. So, I love that. So, tell me what you think has made you the success that you are.
I think people. I care about people.
Okay.
Yes, it's people business, right? So if you care about them, I just listed one house in Kildare. I sold to their home 2018. They nearly told me, because after closing, I took them for Sukasa dinner. They still remember Sukasa dinner.
Okay.
Jane, the dinner is amazing. We love that. I said, when you leave in the town, we're going to take you to go Sukasa again.
Really? Somewhere else again?
It's people.
It's people. But I want to know what it made you successful. Everybody sitting in the room pretty much sells real estate or something. How come you're different than everybody else?
I love people.
Okay.
Again.
All
I
right.
think that's the key point.
Right.
Seriously. Besides all the marketing, everybody know that, right? You got a marketing, but if you take care of people, people trust you.
Okay.
You are successful.
What's the biggest challenges that you faced?
My biggest challenge right now, not much, to be honest with you. I'm very, 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 very like the position we are at with the team member, with our agent we have. the production we are doing. Of course, we wish we can have a more home on the market for sale, but then we cannot control that, right? So we don't control that. We just do better.
In the couple of brokers that I've talked to who are successful brokers, one of the things that they are essentially and endlessly reminding people is simply this. People always need to buy or sell a house. There's always someone somewhere out there that needs to buy or sell a house.
Absolutely.
And that, I think, seems to make a big difference with whether people are doing business or they're complaining about not doing business. They just keep talking about how there isn't inventory, but the successful people are all hitting it and saying, someone's out there, you just have to go find them.
Absolutely.
Is most of your business now repeat business?
It's quite a lot of repeat business, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we try very, very hard to SOI people, which is in our database people.
Okay.
We try to not let those people go, and meanwhile prospect new people.
Okay. Are you using a lot of social media?
We do. Our social queen here, Megan.
Now, they're all going to want to talk to her at the end. I'm just here to tell you. They're going to want to talk to her.
Yeah.
So what kind of social media are you using?
So we do our Facebook, right? And we do
Instagram,
yeah,
TikTok,
YouTube, TikTok.
YouTube, email marketing, mailers. We do a lot of
So across the board kind of
Yeah.
stuff. What are you having the most response to?
the most.
I think it's mailing.
It's still mailing. It's interesting that you say that as well. The last few years I've been sitting in on marketing presentations, and there are a lot of them that talk is about social media, media. And then at the very end, whoever's doing the marketing will kind of lean forward and say, but I'm going to tell you something. That mailing thing is still the bomb because nobody gets any mail anymore. So people are actually looking at what they are getting. And, my husband calls it, I get the galaxy of garbage once a week. But other than that, there's nothing that comes in the mail. So they're looking at what's coming in the mail that way.
Well, social media is branding your name, right? Out there, people know that. But mailing is really the story tell people.
And what do you tell, what's the story you tell when you do the mail?
We told people we just sold the house. We got multiple offer. We sold more than asking price.
Okay, that's good stories.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, that's what the seller would like to hear, right?
Okay. All right, social media and customers and clients. It's interesting to hear you say that they're responding more to mailing than to other stuff. But I'm telling you, your signs are pretty doggone impressive too, your big billboards. Because even I who live in Crystal Lake, I know about the Jane Lee on the billboard, so I like that. Okay. What is the thing that motivates you the most?
Again, I'm really people person. I'm really like to deal with the people who, who trust me, and including any of my team people, my clients. So if they do well with me, I do well with them too. Yeah.
Okay. So then the converse is, what demotivates you? What's the stuff that makes you crazy? And her whole team laughs. Really.
Jody made me crazy.
She did. She made you crazy, huh?
No one made me crazy.
No one makes you crazy.
Yes, exactly. It's myself made me crazy. I set about too high bar a lot of time. So I try to achieve the goal, achieve the quality service for people. Drive me crazy. Seriously.
Do you set goals every January for yourself?
Absolutely. Every month, every week.
Do you write them down?
Absolutely. We know exactly where we're at today.
Okay. Interesting. There's a theory that if you don't write them down, you have none.
Absolutely.
All
We
right.
talk this goal every week, right?
Yeah.
Every week.
Every week you
On the
review,
number.
look at
And when
them.
in the meeting, every week, everybody know what they at. Our agent, every month, they know what they at.
Okay. Some of the people here are beginning realtors or newer realtors. What's your advice for them?
It's very hard job. It's not easy at all. If you think that easy coming here making a bunch of the money, you're in the wrong business. I'm sorry. You gotta put a lot of effort in, and it can be successful.
If you had someone who was brand new and came to you and said, what do I do tomorrow to be successful? What would you tell them?
Go out, generate the lead.
And say it again.
Generate the lead. Go out, get a lead first.
Yeah, but I don't know how. What would you tell me to do? How would you tell me to do that?
Figure out.
Figure it out. I like that. Okay.
Join JD team.
Join
Then you're doing the team. All right. Creating what are you have a big team that works for you.
Absolutely.
What is the challenge of running a team like that?
Not really not exactly a challenge. It just met everybody's expectation kind of tough, right? Because everybody have their own expectation. Our job in the office, we have a huge MNT, about 18 people to support our agent. We have create the listing manager for agents. So we try to do concierge service for agent. Basically, I want to copy my team agent, everybody like me.
Okay.
If they have what's that called? Ambition to be that. You know what I mean? What do you mean? Take all the stuff away, just go out selling real estate.
Okay. Now, here's my question: do you have job descriptions for the people, like your transaction coordinators and all that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Written job descriptions.
Everybody
Written job descriptions.
they read, right? Everybody have one.
My other question then would be, how do you let people know, if you're on a listing presentation, for example, how do you let people know the benefits of being with a team? Because every now and again I hear people say, well, I only want to talk to Jane Lee. I don't want to talk to any of the other people. She's my realtor and I only want to talk to her. You can't be doing that when you're running a team the size you're talking about. How do you address that with your clients?
I basically tell them and say everybody in our team is expert what they do. They should do better than me.
Okay. Well, if they're expert at what they do, yeah, that's true.
Right, because they do better than me. I'm the one is like a conductor, right? So I strategy your home based on what the market that we're doing, the price, what need to improve your home, and have a team of the people finishing every detail.
Okay.
They say okay with that. They say okay because we have a hundred review in the internet, which you can go out check. It's all about the teamwork, not just by me.
Okay.
Mostly people have no problem. You do have a couple of people are losing couple listing to some because they don't want big team to support. But
Okay.
most of the people was okay.
Do you fire clients sometimes?
Sometimes yes.
What would you fire me for? What would I do that you would make me not want to be your client? Or for you not to want to have me as a client?
Well, every day cry, midnight email, Jane, you did not sell my home yet. Hi Jane, we're gonna do every day. It's like ridiculous,
Okay.
right?
I like that. Yeah, really. I don't want crying on my phone.
That's
every
why
day
you
either.
cry every day, not
Every
just
day.
like once a week I can take it, but every day and I do midnight and I send all the big letters, couple of sentences every day. That's not just people, and we don't need that. It's too stressful.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time you get to ask questions. Anybody have a question for Jane? Joel, a question?
I knew you were gonna call him.
I know, because you're my guy.
So I have a question, so I do have a couple of questions.
Absolutely.
My first question is, how many members of your team are there? Because I missed that. And
Total?
then- Pardon me?
You mean total? Or
Total,
about 50 right now.
50?
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. And then the second part is, which I just heard, you do not do all the listings yourself. You have your teammates that do them.
Absolutely.
Even though everything goes under your number as far as.
Yes. After the closing, they go to our number. Yes.
So this is a weird question, but I'm always interested in this. Besides you, how do all these people get paid? I know that sounds weird, like percentages and things like that.
I don't want to know percentages, because
Yeah.
I want to talk about it.
I'm not asking about commission.
Okay.
I'm not asking that. I'm asking how, like if I worked for you
As what agent?
as an agent,
Independent agent, you pay by commissions.
yes, but you take a percentage of everything that I would bring in or.
Well, everybody different,
Everyone's different.
right? Everybody different, so we don't have a set number here. Depend on performance, depend the lead coming from their own, depend on lead coming from us. It's
It all depends on.
all
where-
dependent, exactly.
Thank
Yes.
I have another question too. You're a friend. You're still working under the banner of a franchise.
Yes, Remus.
Tell me why.
White. I actually like franchise name better.
Okay.
It just give you the number, no calling number, national number, international number. To be honest with you, they really don't do so much support. They give us all their, the sign, you have to do their stuff, but honestly, I like franchise better.
Okay.
It's when you deal with relocation companies, especially, they like to be big franchise. They don't want to deal with the one-person shop.
Do you do a
business.
lot of relocation business?
Yes, we do. I do. Mhm.
Okay. Where are people coming from?
People coming to all over the country, right? So we have people relocate out to Texas, or people coming from all over the place, California, Texas. We just sold the house to people from California, it's just all over the country. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you do relocation business, you do regular listing and sale business. What other kind of businesses are you doing? Are you doing any leasing?
I do. Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah, mostly handled by my team people.
Okay. Commercial at all?
Yes, we have a commercial agent. In fact, we just have one commercial seller who want to buy like $1 million building right now. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, cool. Other questions?
Okay, I have another question.
Okay,
I'm
Joe.
gonna have questions all day. So, you said when you started, you were, going out and meeting, because you're Chinese, meeting lots of Chinese clients. Did you get involved in ARIA initially, or are you involved in ARIA at this point? The
That's-
Asian American
It's
Real
just, I do.
Estate?
I belong to the association, but I did not do anything with them.
I was just wondering if you got business from them.
Not really. Actually, I got business more like no call.
Well,
You know what I mean? No call meeting, like Grace. She queen of the Chinese people right now. She dealt with a lot of Chinese people.
Well, little did you know when you came here that you were going to get nominated.
Right.
I love that.
Right. She's queen in a Chinese community. She have a WeChat. I know you guys know the app, and then she advertised in there.
Yeah.
One of the spots she got great business. She's amazing. She sells 25 million a year,
that's very cool. Congratulations.
and then she nearly owned a business about 3-4 years.
So I do have another question for you. Did your family have an influence on how you do business?
0.
0.
Yes.
Okay. Is your family here?
My husband here, my kid here.
No, I'm talking about like your mom and dad.
My parents went home already. They were here before, but they have 0 influence. They was really mad. I dropped my chemical engineering in computer science to go to real estate. They think I'm in Lux. Say, what? You have a great job, but why you quit it? Yeah.
Interesting.
They are not happy, in fact.
They were not happy. Okay,
Yes,
good to know. All right, other questions?
But I don't listen to them.
But clearly you didn't listen. Clearly you didn't listen to them. Are they happier with you now?
Of course.
Oh, of course,
Yeah,
yes.
they-
All right. So they're back in China?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going home to see them in September. Because for the last 3 years, COVID, we cannot go. Yeah. So
That's been hard then.
yeah, it's very hard. So I'm going to go see them. They're older already. One 95, another one 88.
Okay.
So it doesn't have too many years to go
Time to go home.
to check them out.
So one of the other questions is, when you are working with clients, there are sometimes hard conversations with clients. They want more money for their house and they're not going to get more money from their house. This last 18 months, not even prior to the last year, it was crazy. The market was absolutely crazy. Were you okay with that market where people were just buying houses and paying ridiculous amounts of money? How did you deal with that market?
What are you going to do? Tell me. Nothing you can do, but the market is good for the seller. They sell for high price, and the buyer going to pay. End of the day, what the buyer willing to pay, what the seller wanting to sell. We have no control over it.
Okay.
As
All
soon as the
right.
appraisal can appraisal out, we do our job. I
You
think.
do your job.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think appraisal is the key, right? If appraisal doesn't appraise how, we work very hard to negotiate a better price for our buyer.
Okay. All right, other questions? Miss Helen, have you got a question? I'm sorry to do this to you. You know Helen.
Not really,
Okay.
other than, growing a team is not easy, and it's pretty admirable that you've grown such a, successful, enormous team. And I think it's to be admired, and to emulate that, I can see there's a level of stress, and I feel you, because I have that level of stress, because it's a decision to grow your team to
Absolutely.
the size that you've grown it.
Absolutely.
And I'm always at a crossroads. Do I wanna grow big, or do I wanna kinda stay where I am? And I've always been in the middle. So I guess my question for you is what was it, Jane, that made you decide to just skyrocket to that next level? Because it is quite admirable and it's
So-
inspiring.
So really, I belong to one of the coaching program called Good Follow
I've
American.
seen you
Yes.
in all of these things. I mean, I know you, but I don't know you. So like I've seen you. It's been.
Well, I mean,
magnificent.
we have like 20 top Northern American agents in this group, right? So those people doing 700,
So
1,000.
what is the name of this coaching program?
Ken Good Follow.
Okay,
Yeah, so that's what my coach. So
Okay.
nearly he coaching me every Wednesday, between 10:30 to 11, and then we have every other Wednesday we are in a Zoom call 4 to 5 Central Time, Chicago time for all these 20 agents. We have 20 we call elite group, which is the minimum required to getting your team production is 300 million. By the way, we did a 342 million, so we are qualified to get into that group. But my group people, these people, they are selling 800 million, 1,000 million. The GCI like 20 million,
It's crazy.
30 million. Okay, so I see they can do it. Why not us? And I want our agent to be double their business. I want myself to double the business. That's why I relax it, keep growing the team.
okay. That's fascinating that you've committed to coaching. Have you always done coaching?
Absolutely.
Okay, and clearly there's value to it.
It does. If somebody hold you accountable, pretty much. That's
All
what I
right.
needed to do. Yeah. If somebody say, Jane, are you behind this month? If I behind, oh my God, I gotta work hard this month. You know. So
Okay.
it does have somebody. Accountable is the key here. Our salespeople, because this job, nobody tell you what to do, how to do until somebody hold you accountable. Either yourself or somebody out there account you. But Jody did a great job to account our agent accountable. She's
Okay.
She's our sales manager. So she.
Okay, well then hang on, we're gonna be, you're gonna talk off camera. But my question is, what are you doing, if it's okay with you if I
Yeah,
ask her?
of course.
What kind of accountability are you building into your agents?
So, well, I have an annual goal, it's 200 million this year, and we break it down for our agents. And, you know, I sent an email last night saying, we got a couple more days of the month, you know, who is going to win a contract? You know, we're constantly motivating, constantly talking about the goals, constantly talking about the business. What can we do to support? Every single day, the business is hard right now, you know, especially to be a buyer's agent if you're
Mhm.
doing a lot of buyers. So, we are always talking about the numbers and how much do our agents want to earn? You know, it's all about, Jane is all about wealth building. I tell you, the most generous person and brilliant person I've ever worked for. She is a savvy businesswoman who's always pivoting. She's smart, she's caring, she's brilliant, and she's kind. She's got a heart of gold. She treats her employees like gold. So, and I've been with her for 4 years, and this is home. But she knows every day, she's very focused. You know, every day she's calling past clients. She's, you know, how can we do better? How as a team can we always do better?
Okay, thank you. And you're still doing that old-fashioned thing like you're calling clients still.
Of course.
Well, I think sometimes people think at some point you can just stop that kind of stuff.
No.
No.
I spend about 20% or 25% of my time every day to follow up by calling people, just checking with them. Yeah. Phone call is easy, no money. It don't cost you anything. Just make a phone call.
I have a friend who does it first thing in the morning, because he said if I do anything besides 10 calls a day, no
9 to 10. Yeah.
9 to 10, because if I don't do it, the day will get away from
That's
me.
why.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mhm.
But you know, 30 years in the business, and he's still making those calls first thing in the morning.
I think old-fashioned way does work. Of course, you have a new technology today, social media, GPT. We use them a lot right now to do writing the listing remark. You know, what I mean, will help to writing better. But still, old-fashioned way is the best way, right? Deal with your customer. You know, like our agent Rebecca, who specialized in Portuguese people, right?
So, yeah.
Yeah, so she said that she's doing very well with her group of the people. You know,
Okay.
Every time they're selling, moving out, she's the number one person to go to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, anybody else have any other questions? Then I'm gonna thank you all for being here today. I'm gonna thank you, Jane, so much.
Thank you so
for you.
much.
Thank you.
Were you here?
And I thank you so much for spending time with us. I know time is valuable to you, so thank you so
It's
much.
okay. I have time.
Okay, thank you so much. All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Thank you.